everyone, welcome to Fitri Marisa channel. The channel talks about the research and publication. In this video, I would like to share to you about the research gap. As we know that research gap is the essential thing that we want to doing the research. So we have to know about the research gap before we started to doing the research. So we will discuss about the what is research gap and how to find the research gap. So firstly, we need to know the definition of the research gap. Research gap is the result of the efforts to identify gaps or area of knowledge that are either empty or need to be filled with the understanding or knowledge through the research. And there are three essential things we should know about the research gap. That are what is research gap and why the research gap is important and how to find the research gap. And then let's talk about the what is research gap. Firstly, we should know two things that very important to define that what is research gap. First, we should know in our field that we will solve about the problem. We should know or we can answer two of these questions. First, has the problem not been solved yet? And has the research question not been answered yet? So the both of statement or question should be answered. And in this research gap, we should make sure that how important or how urgent the problem that we want to solve. And the statement, this is the important, is there is no research. If there is no research gap, this is the statement that we should know. And the important thing also that the research gap must be clearly defined. And in the discovery of the research gap, we should change our mindset. That our mindset in when doing the research. Our mindset that the research does not start from aim or the objective, but research should be starts from research gap. And where do we can find this research gap? We can find from literature review, observation, experiences, etc., or combination of this activity. And then after we find the research gap, then we can start to define the aim of the research and how to identify the research gap. So to identify the research gap, first, it will be better that we start with the field that we like. This is just only the recommendation, but I think this is an important thing because if we like about the field of this research, it will gain our motivation to do the research because we know that when we do the research, there are many struggle and many challenging that we will face. So if we like the field, it will gain the motivation and we can just enjoy and we can doing the best research. This is my opinion. And the second, try to find the mega trends or recent debate regarding the topic. it also important because if we find the mega trends of recent debate, we will find the essential and maybe this is the important topic or something else that really essential. And the third is this is the general. We to identify the research gap, we must doing the literature review. This is the mandatory thing. And how to validate the research gap? How can we know that the research gap that we find is valid? It depends on literature review. So the literature review, it will be better. So my recommendation, you should find the literature is less than 5 years. Sorry, it's less than 5 years. But we need to read also less than 10 years to know the state of the art of the research. And this is the example of the research gap. For example, I state two statements, two sentences regarding the problem. Something like this. During the COVID-19 pandemic, the learning process in all countries were carried out using the online system. And from this statement, I state this statement based on literature review. So we need to cite the literature that regarding of this statement. I can recommend you cite not only one but maybe 2 or 3 from the literature. And the second statement something like this: based on observations, face-to-face learning is an option that is chosen by many study participants. This statement also, we need to cite this statement with literature that build this statement. It will strengthen your statement regarding the problem. And then after you write the problem, so you can make the conclusion of the research gap, something like this. However, so far there has been no research that has a deeper evaluation of how students receive and perceive online learning without having to compare it to traditional learning. This is important to do considering that online learning is currently the only option in organizing learning during the COVID-19 pandemic. For this reason, efforts are needed to support online learning system to get a recommendation that can improve their performance. So the last statement is highlight of the research gap. So this is the little of example you can state, you can write the research gap. Okay, thank you for watching, and let's see in the next video. Bye.